Alright everybody, I'm back again with part 2 of this video. I've done like 20 takes of this thing because I am freaking beat at this point, but I'm doing part 2 of the pickups video. If you want to go see the first part, it's up on the channel already. It's games and music. But this time I'm just doing technology, computer stuff, basically just Apple stuff, which is kind of funny given the fact that I made that video a couple months ago bitching. I thought I was fucking walking away from Mac altogether, and not Apple outright because I still like iOS stuff, as I'll get into, but I was going to walk away from the Mac, but I had a turn of fate and I got into some stuff that has actually kind of turned things around for me, which is funny, and we'll get into it. But so this might be a little longer because I'm going to talk more than just show, but this was the main catalyst for my whole spree of pickups here. But this is a 2012 Mac Mini. This is just a base model. I did not intend on getting this thing at all, but I stumbled into it and got it for like 40 bucks. I don't remember what the tax was on it, but it was around 40, whatever the tax is on that for PA 1.06 times whatever it was. But this thing, it's a base model, 2.5 gigahertz, but it's got 16 gigs of RAM in it, which is the max for this, and it's got a 1 terabyte drive in it, which is nice. So it has been upgraded by somebody. Luckily, this was one of the Mac Minis that you could easily get into, and you just pop the base plate off of it. It's kind of hard to get it to pop off every time, even though it's loose. Gotta shake it. Yeah, you can just get the base plate off, and there's your RAM right there. And it's not too bad to open up to replace the hard drive and do other stuff in it. It just requires a bit of patience. But nowhere near as bad as the old minis with where you had to open it up with a pizza cutter or whatever, or the new ones where this plate doesn't pop off and the RAM is buried deep inside of it, and you got to do all sorts of bullshit. And a lot of the stuff's just soldered on anyway. Yeah, I don't know if any. Well, the 2014 Mini had soldered RAM. After that, they made it replaceable for the 2018, and M1, of course, soldered. But this is really an impressive computer. I was not expecting this to impress me the way that it did. I just picked it up because, I mean, I have this 2012 iMac here. This is also a base model, up to 16 gigs, and it's got an i5 quad-core desktop processor and a GeForce like 660M graphics card in it. And this thing obviously is a lot worse than that, being 2.5 gigahertz dual-core mobile processor with just Intel 4000. Excuse me, but honestly, I've been running this thing. I don't really notice any difference in performance between these two computers. But this thing's old as hell in terms of me using it. I've had it for years, and it's time to retire it. It's a matter of days now until I kick this thing off of here. But this thing, the hard drive's full. I think the installs are just bogged down. The old mechanical hard drive, you know, it's bogged down. And it's just pissed me the fuck off for a long time with how slow it is and how much things crash on it. It's gotten really fussy. So that's really irritated me. But this thing, none of that. Just outright none of it. There are certain websites where I can tell they get a little choppy, and it's almost certainly because of the integrated graphics on this thing. I mean, that is what it is. And definitely games don't run as well. Again, integrated graphics. But I am actually impressed by the gaming performance of this thing. Like Minecraft on this. I have that XP machine that I built, if you remember from last year. That thing also, it's an i7 desktop processor with the desktop version of the 4000 Intel graphics. On Windows, it runs Minecraft like shit. Like, you're talking like 15 FPS at most. This thing, I get like 100 FPS in Minecraft. I can't explain that, but that's pretty freaking cool. There's other games I've had that have run pretty good. Some of them run like shit, which you'd expect for what it is. But I'm impressed with everything about the performance of this computer. It just freaking flies. Apps come up instantly. Most websites are completely fluid. I can have a huge amount of tabs open without any problem. It's just certain websites I can tell the graphics card could be better. But otherwise, I mean, for a computer this small, I'm really impressed with it. And it's nice to have such a compact desktop. But I got it to replace that thing because I don't want to lose 100% access to some of the stuff that I have on there in terms of old programs. I still wanted to have something to run them. And so I picked this up, and yeah, it is a freaking awesome computer, and I'm definitely going to keep using it because it's fast. It's surprisingly fast, and it's got software loaded on it now that I like to have access to. So, and it has FireWire. It has fucking FireWire. It has USB 3, Thunderbolt, Ethernet, SD card, audio in and out. I mean, it's got a good bit of stuff on it. It's really a nice computer for what it is. This is, in my opinion, honestly, after using it, this is probably one of the best Macs Apple has ever released, is the 2012 Mini. 2011, I mean, no USB 3. Just everything about it's worse, but it's still a good computer. But this thing's great. Obviously, like the M1 and M2 minis, those are great too, for what they are, but this thing is really, really cool. So I'm impressed with it big time. And I will definitely be using it. The only thing I don't like about it, again, this base plate is beat to shit, otherwise it's not bad shape, is it slides around a little bit because this is just plastic. There's no rubber grip or anything at all. Like the old Mini, the old white top Mini, which was also a little, it was smaller, other than being a little taller than this one, but this has an integrated power supply at least, which is nice. So I have that computer, and I'm really happy with that. I have Mavericks on it. I got Sierra on it. It can run up to Catalina. I don't need to run that new of a version. I just like, if you haven't watched me for a long time, you might not know, but I like Sierra because it has the old font smoothing, old subpixel anti-aliasing, which makes text way more readable than Mojave and newer on a non-Retina screen. I don't go to High Sierra though, I'm just on regular Sierra because High Sierra, it's buggy. I've had problems with it, like the calculator in the side, in the notification center thing does not save your stuff, so the moment it closes it resets to 0, which makes it effectively useless if you're doing anything on the computer with a calculator. Some of my programs don't work on High Sierra, this and that, so between that and regular Sierra I just stuck with it. So, but there are actually forks of Firefox that still work on both Mavericks and Sierra, so I'm not missing much. But because it's only for certain tasks, so I'm fine with it. I'm 100% fine with what that computer is. Because of another pickup I'm going to show here, I have to get up to grab this one. I have to get up to grab most of the stuff. But this, I've had this for a long time. I have obviously shown it in videos and talked about it a little bit. I did a video with the webcam on it. But this is the most expensive thing I've ever bought myself, actually. And this is a M4 MacBook Pro, 14-inch. So it's not the latest model anymore. It was when I bought it. Obviously it's the space black color, which shows fingerprints and shit. But I've had this thing for how long now? 8 months? Yeah, over 8 months. I bought it. I mean, they updated it shortly after. I'm okay with that. But yeah, this is a really cool laptop. Again, I have my problems with macOS, the way that it's gone. I'm still running Sequoia on this thing, which is part of why I got it, honestly, because I didn't want to run Tahoe right away. But for what it is hardware, in terms of hardware, this is the best laptop ever. Completely indisputable in terms of the overall hardware package and experience. I mean, I'm sure you can get better graphics performance from a gaming laptop on the Windows side, but show me a laptop that's got a screen as good as this, a keyboard as good as this, with backlighting as clean as this, with a trackpad as good as this, with a strong port selection. Of course, there's no USB-A, but otherwise it's got everything you'd want. Other than maybe Ethernet, but you can get adapters. MagSafe, super thin, very light, good speakers, Touch ID. And again, this thing is really great hardware. Definitely the best laptop I have ever seen or ever owned. I mean, I haven't owned many laptops. My favorite laptop before this was actually a Dell Latitude D620, just because that thing was a tank. But this thing's awesome. It really is. I mean, it is what it is. If you guys are at all familiar, I'm not showing you anything new with this. This is just the base model. That was like $1,600 or however much it was, and that's fine with me. It would have been nice to upgrade, but at the time I had other things going on too, and I just needed a new Mac. So I just got the cheapest MacBook Pro, because the reason that I got this over MacBook Air is because it had an extra USB-C, and it had a display output that doesn't use up a USB-C, so that doesn't get in the way, and then SD card slots nice to have. But basically just for ports is basically why I got this instead of a MacBook Air. But the thing that I'll say about this laptop is this is basically just a work computer, because it's great hardware. It's absolutely an awesome computer. It doesn't run anything on it. I have no software for it. It's like none of my games work on it that I've had. None of them. I mean, I've run a couple things through Wine, and the performance is pretty abysmal in a lot of cases. There's a couple of games that are native that are cool, but I can't run a lot of my games on it. I can't run a lot of my good programs on it that I use in terms of actual utilities, because a lot of those were 32-bit applications. Excuse me, for Mac, so I haven't been able to use them since Mojave. Excuse me. So I really don't use this computer for anything like just entertainment or just messing around or any of my like basic work stuff in terms of just stuff that I like to tinker with. I don't ever touch this computer for any of that stuff. I only get on this computer when I need to work. That's it. If I'm not working, I'm not using this computer, ever. I never use it. Regardless of how good the screen is, regardless of how good the speakers might be for a laptop, how good the keyboard is, the fact that the fans almost never rev up. I just don't use it. I just don't use it other than that, because none of my software that I actually would like to use just casually for entertainment or for anything like that, none of it works. So, which is kind of a bummer for how much I spent for the damn thing, but you know, I'll give it that's great hardware, but that's me and Mac OS. I just can't find a good software workflow, I guess you could say, for non-actual work stuff. It's just not a thing, but it is useful when I need it. When I need it, I need it. And I wouldn't want to be without it when I need it. So that's sort of the dilemma with that. But it is great hardware. I will absolutely say that. It just is what it is. And that kind of pissed me off too. And that's where I kind of drifted away. But now that I have this goddamn thing, I mean, I have the computer that runs all the old stuff. More so like non-gaming stuff, because I mean, I have a gaming Windows PC and that runs pretty much all of it anyway. So the only Mac exclusive games that I haven't been able to find Windows versions for basically are OS 9 games, and OS 9 sure as fuck doesn't run on that. So yep, you can see I got even more stuff. I got myself a HomePod Mini. This is apparently they're going to update this fairly soon too. This was not new. I got it used for $47, I think it was. And it works just fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Of course, I had to factory reset it. And this is a bit of a bitch to tinker with. This is a really cool piece of kit, and also a really painful piece of kit. For what I've been trying to use it for. I've just been trying to use it for music, which, I mean, I got better fucking speakers, but I just wanted something compact because this will fit on my monitor, the base of my monitor. So I figured, you know, I could just have something nice and compact on my desk, just to have some music playing, you know. But it can be really hard to set this up for that, or have it work the way you want it to. When it works, it's great. I mean, it doesn't sound like amazing, but it sounds good for the size, most definitely. And it's not, I mean, it's not really meant to be used as just a speaker. It's a smart speaker or a home hub or whatever the hell they call it. They have the full-size HomePod, of course, as well, but, I mean, it's just such a fucking pain in the ass, guys, because the Home app on iOS is garbage. I haven't tried to use it with a Mac yet. I imagine it's very similar to that, but the Home app sucks. I have to go between Wi-Fi networks. A lot of times it just doesn't even prompt me because I can't manually make it go to the new Wi-Fi network. I can't manage this thing like a piece of equipment I'm going to get into, airport stuff. You can't manage it at that level at all. The Home app just tries to do everything automatically. You cannot configure almost anything about this. You cannot use it as a wired speaker. You cannot use it as a Bluetooth speaker. You have to use it as a HomeKit device only. Though it does support AirPlay, you have to configure it as a HomeKit device. And so it's all done basically automatically. So if it doesn't want to switch your Wi-Fi network for you, if the prompt never comes up on the screen, you can never switch the Wi-Fi network. If you have to reset it and the prompt to set it up never comes up, you just have to wait for it. I waited like 15 minutes the one time before the prompt on my phone came up telling me to set the device up. It's like, oh, it's so frustrating. And it has to recalibrate the sensors every time I plug it back in. Which, once I get it set up, it won't be quite so bad. But my outlet situation here sucks. So this isn't going to be plugged in 100% of the time. So it's kind of an inconvenient device to use. It really is. It's not bad hardware, but they just need to make it more flexible and more free. Let us do what we want with the damn thing, but they won't. They never will, I'm sure. There's also a lot of people have issues with the top of this thing failing, so it just does like ghost touches and randomly starts playing music and stuff on its own and adjusting the volume, and then you gotta go in and unplug this whole top piece, which makes using it even harder. But we'll see if that happens to mine or not, because it seems like it's actually a decently common issue. But I wanted to try it out and see what it was like. Excuse me. And I've kind of thought about getting a second for a stereo pair once I have them configured properly. It might not be so bad, but I don't know if I want to dick with it or not. The thing that's kind of interesting about this, though, it looks like I'm holding like a fucking fruit or something, man, but it's black. What was I going to say? When this is set up for music, you can actually use this as just like an AirPlay device. And despite what everything says online, you can use this with AirPlay 1. It's not just AirPlay 2 exclusive. So you can use this as a speaker on like Mavericks or Mountain Lion or iOS 5 or anything like that. You can use this as a AirPlay speaker on those old versions, which is kind of cool. I'm not required to have like a newer macOS to use it. And at least, like, my iPhone is still on iOS 17. I can still, even though this thing's on 26.5 or whatever firmware, I can still manage it, which is at least cool there. But, so if I'm not going to recommend one of these, honestly, unless you're willing to fight with it to get it configured. It's just kind of a pain in the ass. But the hardware, again, is not terrible. Unfortunately, there is that defect that people have, but you know, and I wish the cable wasn't hardwired, honestly, but this thing at least stays put. It does rotate somewhat, but it doesn't move much on its own, at least, because the foot is decent. I do have a box for this and everything, but I'm not going to show it because it's in storage. But so I'm kind of iffy on it. It's not a bad piece of kit, but you really got to fight with it. Unlike what I'm going to show next, which is a whole nother way of doing what I'm trying to do. Which is, this thing's really cool. This is a Airport Express old router equipment. I actually have the box for this with me here. I wanted to show this because this is fucking weird. I don't know what happened to this damn box. If anybody can explain to me why this happened or what the hell this stuff could be, because it doesn't come out. But I have the original box for it. This is the 2008 reissue of this, or revision of this hardware that has 802.11n. Wi-Fi. And front's in good shape. This side's in good shape. Top is a little worn. Bottom is fine. But when you get to the back and the side, it's like fucking pink. I don't know what the hell that's about. It's really bad there. I don't know what that is. It doesn't show up quite as well because it's so bright, but that, I don't know what that's about. I don't know how that happened or what that is. I'd love to know. It's really weird. Like, look at that. That is so fucked up. But, yeah, you can see the back of the thing. This has everything with it. I'm not going to pull all of it out. I don't know if you can see it in there. But it's got the CD and all the documentation. It's complete in box. Just that the box is kind of fucked up. For whatever reason, I don't know what's wrong with it. It's just weird. It's just weird. But at least I got the box. But this thing, I mean, look how small this thing is. It's not much bigger than one of the MacBook charger bricks. And this is a full-featured router. I mean, obviously it's out of date in terms of the standards of today, and you probably wouldn't want to use it for, like, internet connectivity, necessarily. You can use it as a range extender. That's not a problem. But, just the fact that it's so small and it has a couple of options you can use it for. You can use this basically to turn, like, if you wanted to use, like, a PS2 over Ethernet over Wi-Fi, plug the Ethernet from the PS2 into this, and boom, there you go. We've got a Wi-Fi PS2, basically. Another thing you can do with it is plug a printer into the USB port on this, and then you turn a wired printer into a wireless printer, which is nice. And then the reason that I got it, and the reason that I'm using it, is because it has an audio jack on it. So you can turn this into a wireless speaker. I have, like, home theater systems and stuff from back in old times that are 100% wired only. I can plug them into this, and I get a wireless set of speakers. I can control them from my phone or a Mac or Windows computer even, with iTunes at least. This basically works as like an AirPlay device. It's only AirPlay 1, but it still does work just fine as either the computer speakers or as a AirPlay or AirTunes speaker in iTunes. And it sounds really good. It really does. There's almost no difference that I can discern between playing the audio through this over Wi-Fi and having the set of speakers directly connected to the Mac. And they're not bad speakers at all, the ones that I've been running this on. And yeah, it's really, really nice. The only thing that sucks, and it's Sabrent's fault. If you know Sabrent, when I have a Sabrent USB hard drive near this thing, it cuts out. I don't know why. I've had other problems, like all my wireless mice start lagging when they're near those things. I don't get it, but it's just poorly isolated or insulated equipment there on Sabrent's end. But one of the old uses for this was to bring it to a hotel. Back when they didn't have Wi-Fi, they just had Ethernet, and then you plug the Ethernet into this, and then boom, you got Wi-Fi in your hotel room. Obviously nowadays that's not so important, but... And this thing is extremely easy to set up with the airport utility, both the current version and the old version, the 5 version, which also works on Windows. I hate working with network equipment of any kind, routers, modems, any of it, where you gotta log in with a web browser and do all that bullshit, and they're incredibly confusing, and you don't know what the hell the fucking lights are doing on it and what they mean. This thing is unbelievably simple to work with. I am so pissed that they don't make airport products anymore, because they are so easy to configure. And it would really make my life a lot easier if I could have a full airport stack in my house and just work with these, because they work fine with everything. It doesn't have to be just Apple products. Once you have it set up, it's just a router, you know. But I'm really impressed with this as a product. Obviously it's outdated now, but if they updated this, just made a modern version of this, it'd be a killer product. It really would be. But yeah, so it's a wireless speaker conduit. These are still solid though. There's nothing wrong with using it for that purpose. So that's really awesome. That is one of the best Apple products ever made right here. And the same with all the other airport stuff. You know, that's obviously kind of limited use or variable use now, but really, really just blows away the competition in terms of ease of use and setup. And so again, like, this was why I liked Apple, is their stuff was just always simple as hell to use and configure. And you know, they've gotten, I feel like they've just gotten away from that. When you compare these two devices, you'd think that a smart speaker, wireless speaker, would be easier to manage than a fucking travel router with these options on it, you know? But it's not. This thing, I think anybody could figure this out. Once you know what the terminology means for different like DHCP and fucking SSID, and just learn all that stuff. Once you know all that, this is dead simple to work with. But yeah, so that's just unfortunate the way that Apple's gone. I think their stuff is a lot more complicated now than it needs to be. But I got one more product to show. Got a iPad Air M4, I think. I don't know what the hell it is. It's whatever the latest, the one that just came out. It's purple. You can barely tell it's purple, but that's what it is. Of course, I got a case on just like I always have, but just an iPad Air M4. The only reason I got it is because the laminated screen, and it has a bunch more RAM, and obviously it'll last a lot better than the base iPad that's out now. And just, I mean, I have experience with the modern, whatever, A16 iPads. The screen feels so fucking hollow. It really does. It's awful feeling. But, so I got this instead. I only ever really use it to watch YouTube videos and sometimes to get on the internet and look stuff up. I just like having something that's separate from my computers to have videos on, so that way I can have my computers off or be tinkering with them or do whatever the hell I want with my computers and still have videos playing on something that's not my phone because it kills the battery. So my old iPad was a 8th gen, just getting too old. On that thing it was a 32 gigabyte. This thing's like 128, and I'll never fill that. I didn't even fill the 32 gig on the other one, but it was enough that I couldn't update it anymore. But, so yeah, iPad Air, cool enough. I don't like iOS 26 that much. Really don't, but it is what it is. For what I use it for, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't make a difference. I am really tired. I'll tell you what, if you can't tell from this video, but I just had to get it done. So there you go. I basically upgraded my whole stable of Apple products. Got a laptop that's going to last me for a long time. I don't imagine I'll have to get a new one for years to come. Got the Mac Mini, which is a great computer. It's old, but still running really good. I'm really impressed with that thing. I really am. This Airport, which is a killer for what it is. The HomePod, which I'm having variable success with. And then the iPad. So the only thing that I need to upgrade now really is my phone. The old iPhone 12. I mean, this thing's getting old. My battery health is degrading pretty quick, but I only use my phone for texting. I do it like in FaceTime occasionally, but that's about it. And like banking and shit. I mean, just like the most basic stuff that you can do on a phone is what I do on mine. I never play games on it. I never really watch videos on it unless I absolutely have to pull something up. I don't really browse on, I don't have any apps on it. But still need to upgrade it because it's just getting old, and that battery health is just terrible. But in any event, that's it. My Apple pickups. I'm pretty impressed with all of it for the most part, other than the HomePod. I'm like, on that one, but there you go. I'll see what the updated one looks like. Just kind of curious to see if they improve it at all, make it more user-friendly, more independent of HomeKit, which I doubt they will, because it's kind of the point of the thing. It's the HomePod, but whatever. So, in any event, that's just about all I can say here. I like macOS. I do. It's just incredibly easy to use. I don't have much problem with Windows these days either. I mean, Well, I don't like Windows 11, but my Windows setup that I have, I'm comfortable with. But it is kind of nice to have a Mac system that's not incredibly slow now, but has all of my stuff on it that I'm comfortable with. So you will see some more Mac content perhaps in the future. So there you go. Alright, in any event, I will catch you guys later. Don't know, I'll probably have a whiskey video out next weekend. I just haven't had the time to make one. But for Sunday, I'll probably have a video out for that. So catch you guys later.